Hello, everyone. Oh my God, I'm so happy to be recording an episode, a solo episode. I hope you guys have been enjoying all the guest speakers that I've lined up for you this year. I've definitely had a lot of fun with all these experts sharing their knowledge and their light with us. And I would love to hear from you. If you've been enjoying these episodes, let me know, please. This is how I can tell how if I need to bring more guest speakers or if you rather my solo episodes. This episode comes to you as requested by my clients inside Detox the Mind. As always, I teach and I coach inside Detox the Mind. It's a 5-day live workshop. But I was coaching this group, and one of the girls in the group said she's noticed that she lacks focus, for lack of a better word. She doesn't think she's ADHD, although she might. And she just described essentially daily struggle where she will have a to-do list and she's like, okay, I'm going to get this done. But first I'm going to get some water. And as she's going to the water, the TV's on, there's a program on. And she's like, oh, I'm going to watch this first, then have water, then get to my to-do list. And one thing leads to another, to another. And before she knows, that to-do list stayed exactly as it started. And she feels not so great. But she feels that her mind is in control and that she has very little control over her focus. So yes, my first question was to see if she had been diagnosed with ADHD. Why? Because if you have ADHD, you are time blind, where you assume that it takes a lot less time to do something. And so you agree to do more than you can in a period of time, and then you run out of time. Also, we know it's an attention deficit. So attention deficit will likely make you pay attention to all the things at the same time and a lot of distractions, so you tend to be less focused. But there is humans such as myself where we lack focus, we lack attention. It's our personality. I have been assessed for ADHD. I thought I had it. My high school teachers thought I had it. My primary school teachers thought I had it. Despite all the testing, I've always come back as no, she's not ADHD. I'm not ADHD. So what am I then? I am somebody who needs to intentionally set focus times. And so as she was talking about it, she asked me to record a podcast with these tools because if they're helpful to me, they're likely going to be helpful to somebody else. So I do think that we live in a world where paying attention is a rare occurrence. We are being bombarded with dopamine stimulations that have made us used to and probably addicted to keeping a very short attention span. So if you look at Instagram, it used to be photos. Now it's like really short videos, and you want to say all the things in a short period of time because people will not watch a 5-minute video. We no longer have 5 minutes of attention. What are we doing to our brains? But anyways, I could possibly just write a whole other episode on that subject. But I wanted to give that as a background when I think of why are we all generally less focused now. I think that's one of the reasons. Also, because we think the more we do, the better it is. And so we multitask. And sometimes we even take pride in being multitaskers. I know that used to be me. I'm like, well, I can watch TV and do the laundry and write a novel and teach a class all at once. And that was a source of pride, when in reality, it was stealing my presence and my attention from doing something really good. And I would end up making a lot of mistakes, and I will end up with regret often because, oh man, that could have been prevented had I been paying more attention. And in fact, I would say that's unfortunately a recurring feeling for me, where in retrospect, if I had been more focused on something, that mistake wouldn't have been made. And for that reason, I use all the tools. And I'm going to give you the ones that have been the most helpful for me. Among the tools that I've used to improve my focus is coaching. Hiring a life coach has really improved my focus for the simple reason that I am now accountable to somebody. So if I say to her that I'm going to brush my teeth 3 times a day and I make that a goal, and the next session she asks me how much times I brush my teeth, I'm going to have to be like honest and either have the feeling of disappointment myself that I didn't do what I said I was going to, or have the feeling of pride. So obviously, this is not what I would use life coaching for or my business coach for. I actually have real curious questions that I want to improve or that I want to learn more about. And then I use them to help me focus on that. And so we will have deadlines and timelines to get projects completed. So if my goal is to expose myself to something that I'm afraid of 3 times before the next session, that's very concrete and I can do that. Or if the goal is to write 5 emails with my business coach before the next session, that's very concrete. And I will likely do it because I told my coach I was going to. And so I have that accountability. That has been incredibly helpful for my focus. Among the reasons I love being coached, the fact that I become more focused is one of them. That if I had a strategy with my coach and then I'm deviating from the strategy, if I wasn't with a coach, nobody will be calling me out on that, just myself, and I'll make it okay. But when you have a coach, you have to have a really good reason to deviate from the plan. So that's one of my strategies that has really improved. And the same goes for like my workouts. If I want to go to the gym, I now have a pretty solid routine. I love how I feel after I go to the gym, and I've added the sauna at the end of my workout, and I love it. Okay. I get up at 5 a.m, no questions asked, because I'm looking forward to the feeling I get after my morning exercise. However, I have found it incredibly helpful to have an app that gives me workouts for a period of 6 weeks, and I can get out of it. This is my 6 weeks, and I get to see my progress, and I get badges of success. So this many workouts this week. Good job. I love it. It keeps me focused. I know what exercise I'm doing that day. It's Tuesday. This is what we're doing. Today is legs. Tomorrow is arms. There is a plan, and that just keeps me focused. Before that app, I was just going to the gym and telling myself to raise arms and like just look. I would waste time looking for what exercise I'm going to do. So this has kept me really focused. That app, in case you're wondering, is called Ladder, and I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. I think everybody should have it. Okay, let's talk about other strategies to really have focus time. First of all, I have focus hours. Okay, so what does that mean? If I know I have to write emails for my audience or record podcasts, I am going to create in my calendar focus hours to get that one task done. And it's only one task, and this is the time to do that. So a focus time involves 0 distractions. So my door is closed, my computer and my cell phone are in do not disturb. So I cannot even get the notifications. It's 0 distractions. And I have everything I need to get the work done. So I thought about it. What would I need to record a podcast? My microphone, my computer, my lighting, my notes. Got them? Great. Coffee. Amazing. I can go. What do I need to not have? My phone, my dogs, my child, my husband. Perfect. Everybody knows this is my focus time. So how do you create those focus times? First of all, you want to have a to-do list. You want to be clear on what is it that you're trying to accomplish. And then your intention and your goal is to accomplish that task. I never have more than 3 things on my to-do list, ever. I have top 3 priorities. And I always begin with the one that I do not want to do, or the one that I want to do least, because sometimes I want to do them all, but there's one that my brain is like, that's not so important. As long as I have that energy of wanting to procrastinate, that easily becomes my first, and I tackle that first. Because what I do is I get rid of the heavy, and then I have a lot more energy. I mobilize energy. So 3 to do things. Then you prioritize by what is the one that you want to do the list, and you begin with that one. Then I want you to think about, and I do it briefly now in my head, but I used to write it. What are all the things that it requires me to be focused? What would I need to do to just focus on that? I'll need water. Like write down that list of all the things you would need, so you don't have the brain saying like, but we need water, but we need something. You have a pen, a paper, all of what you need. And then you're going to write it down in your calendar. When are you going to do that? And it's got to be in your calendar, and it's time that is blocked. Like if you had to show up to work that morning, and it's important. And then you're going to respect what's in your calendar. Don't do what I used to do, which I would put the task on my calendar, see it, and be like, thanks for the suggestion. I'm procrastinating. I can say over the last 3 years, I've really focused to put things in my calendar once so that I don't forget, and add in that calendar entry anything that I need to know, like if there is a link to go to, if there is a reminder, like bring water with you, bring food, bring your running shoes, whatever it is. Also, my iPhone, if you guys have an iPhone, has focus times that you can actually add. So if I'm at the gym, it's got a specific one. And I've added the apps that I want to show up when I'm at the gym that are allowed to show up. And I block the ones that I don't. So I have a focus for work, for the gym, for driving, for personal time, for when I'm with my son time. So I only want like my parents and my husband, and like, I don't want Instagram to get a reach of me during those hours. So it's becoming really mindful of what is normally distracting to you and how can you begin to block it. When you have it in your calendar, and I want to say, if you guys open my calendar, which I love Google Calendar, but some of my clients hate it, they have found other options. I love it because you can color code and you can set reminders and you can save tasks. Even my laundry days are in my calendar and I respect them. You guys, I used to accumulate because I've got tons of clothes because I like shopping. So I used to accumulate so much laundry to do, and then it would be super overwhelming and time consuming, and I hated it. So now it's in my calendar 3 times a week or every day. My gym clothes gets washed every day. I have it in my calendar, and I know it's laundry day, and it's gonna happen because it's if it makes it to my calendar, it makes it to my doing. So I cannot say enough about the calendar. How many of you put things in your calendar? Like filling up the form to get your license, like the little annoying things that you have to do. One of my coaches requires that we submit a form before we jump on a call with her. I had to set a reminder the day before to fill out the form because I will often show up to a call and be like, oops, I forgot about it. Not out of ill intention, but truly just out of not having that habit. So everything goes into the calendar. An incredibly helpful tool to get this done so that you can appropriately assess how long it takes you to do the tasks. It's also why we get distracted because we didn't anticipate it was going to take this long. And so the longer you're sitting doing one task, the more that you might need to go cook or go pick up your son or interrupt the task. I highly suggest, and I learned this from an amazing book. If it comes to me, I'll tell you the name of the book. And this book suggested that you measure the timelines that it takes you to do things. So today is Wednesday. I'm going to shower. I'm going to measure. I'm going to put my timer and see, okay, I shower from 7 a.m. to 7:10. And I was fully dressed by 7:10. Okay, so that took 10 minutes. And then I had to blow dry my hair. That took 45 minutes. And then I made breakfast. And what did I have for breakfast? Is it cereal or is it a shake? Or did I make a full-blown breakfast and how long did it take me? I would notice all of this. I took about a week to measure all the things that I normally do and how long does it take me to commute from my house to my son's daycare. Why was this so important to me is because I was a 5-minute person. Everything in my brain took 5 minutes. I'll call you in 5 minutes. I'll be there in 5 minutes. I'm just going to shower in 5 minutes. I'll be ready. I had like this random time standard of how long it took me things that was highly, highly underestimated how long it actually took me. Like I was shocked to see that the days that I had to wash my hair, it took an hour between showering, doing my shampoo and blow drying my hair. Whereas before I would have estimated that to a 15-minute thing. And so no, surprisingly, I was often late for things if I had to wash my hair that day. So now I can accurately do that. I also realized I live outside of the city and it took a long time for my brain to think that, okay, to go anywhere is going to take you minimum half hour. So it's not a 5-minute drive. So I highly suggest that you start your day with the tasks that you normally do, making breakfast, having coffee, making coffee, and you time it. I know it sounds tedious, but trust me, it's going to serve you so much. So now I know that if I say I'm recording podcasts, I want to have a minimum of 2-3 hours because I'm writing, I'm thinking, I'm negotiating with my brain what I want to say, how I want to say it. And that's the ideal time. That's my sweet time. When I add things to my calendar, and this is mostly for work, guys, because this is incredibly helpful to at your job as well. I think of one task at a time. So asking my brain to do one task at a time, because if I have it in my calendar that I'm going to record podcasts and I'm going to, do my books and I'm going to coach, what I'm requesting for my brain is to open many tabs from one to the next. And I am less focused. So what I try to do is have monotasks for the day, if at all possible. So one day is only coaching. So my brain is only doing one thing, listening and providing questions. Another day, like today, is only recordings. I'm only recording either videos or podcasts. Another day is just a writing day. So I'm not talking to anybody. My brain is just in writing mode. I am saving time to adjust from one task to the next. So if you work in an environment where you're able to manage your schedule 100%, try to do monotasks, like one activity of the brain for a chunk of time, if not the whole day, for a few hours, right? So if you are somebody who have to make a lot of phone calls, maybe group them all in like 2-3 hours. And that's all you're doing. Focus on calls. Give your brain a break and then say, I'm going to focus on writing. If you write reports or emails or whatever. I've even focused on my emails. So I check my emails first thing in the morning, and I check my emails just before I end my day. I don't check emails all day long. That was a very big distraction for me, and having to reply. So instead, I know I'm catching the people from the night before in the morning, and in the afternoon, people that email me throughout the day. It's just thinking about how to best utilize your time so that you can truly focus. I also block distractions. I know what distracts me. I know, for example, that if I start being on my phone after I put my son to bed, I'm not getting my house clean and my dishes. And before I know it's 10 p.m., I'm like, oh, I got to get up tomorrow at 5. So all of that is going to have to wait. So I knew my phone was a massive distraction. Well, I've eliminated my phone purposely and intentionally. I put my son to bed at 7. I might check my phone, check in with my parents, check in with a few people. And then my phone goes on airplane mode until the next morning. Also has improved my sleeping by a lot. So you know what your distractions are. When are they coming? Like if your distraction is like the kitchen, can you walk a different path to make it to your bedroom? So just really pay attention to what are normally your distractions and how can you prevent them. Have like a distraction prevention plan. I also liked from the same book, which name has not come back to me, have a procrastination list. So if you did say that you were going to do A, B, and C today and you're doing D, take a notepad and start writing procrastination list. Instead of doing this is what I started doing. See if you find patterns. And just having a procrastination list really makes you aware that you're procrastinating on doing the thing that you have to. Having an accountability partner when you say you're going to focus on something is really important. So I used to ask my clients to send me a quick message every Monday with their top 3 priorities for the week. And then on Fridays, how did they do? So like you can do this with a friend as well. If you don't have a coach, like how can I get accountability for the focus that I want to have? So you could call a friend and say like, listen, I've been postponing applying for my university program, but I've told myself it's going to happen before Friday. So I'm going to send you a photo on Friday when it's done, and people get it done. You will see that you want to get it done. Lastly, I would say evaluation. Evaluate how it went. How did your focus time go? What worked? What didn't? What did you learn? And then apply those lessons next time you're doing your focus time. That's it. It's not super complicated. In fact, I invite you to not make it complicated, but really be clear on what you accomplish. What are you intending to accomplish? How long is it going to take you? So you can estimate the time, put it in your calendar, stick to what's in your calendar. It's like sacred. If it's in my calendar, it's getting done. Yes or yes. That's it. There's no way around it. And become accountable to yourself. Like let yourself feel proud for keeping up with your word and your focus. It's going to benefit you so much. You won't want to do life without it. I use all these tools because my brain wants and is naturally scattered, and I can just go to all places and do all things. A lot of focus for me is about self-constraint. Can I constrain myself? Can that wait? I forgot to mention a huge help for me has been meditation as well. So my coach, the meditation has helped me discipline my mind so that the mind knows I am the boss. I hope this is helpful. Put it to practice. Maybe save this one and listen to it a few times. And most importantly, know that everybody can focus. You just need focus times. That's all. All right. See you guys next Monday. Talk to you soon. Bye now.